ladies and gentlemen, to the grand finals of the Oversalt tournament of the 22nd of June. I'm still here as Alenvil, and with me is now Yokai. Welcome, Yokai.
Hey, yo, everybody. How is everyone doing? And how are you doing, Alenvil?
I'm doing fine, but I want to know how you're doing on this lovely day where we get to cast Indignation versus Ex Oblivion.
Well, I'm doing pretty good myself. Of course, Indignation, actually, I have a little bit of history with, which I'm not going to go too into, but I know that both of these teams have been hard grinding it recently. Just in this off season of Open Division, we start to see these rebuilds happen. We start to see new players emerge in these stacked rosters, and both of these teams definitely look to be on that page of these strongest rosters in Open Division at the minute.
Okay, so yeah, so we're setting up right now for the matchup. So we will be seeing both teams right now. Ex Oblivion did quite well in the first matchup, so and did mostly just with goats. So do you think that will switch up anything, Yokai?
Well, I think looking at the other side, we see players like Lino, who was on a Team Clash at the end of Contenders Trials, and Shade, who on Team Wavy as well. Both of them very flexible. Shade showing proficiency on the Reinhardt Bolster, on that Winston, and Lino, of course, being a fantastic hit scan all around. And looking at Brandon, looking at Finiesta, OJ as well, they're all fantastic players, so they are going to force this, absolutely, if they have to. But on the other side, we see the likes of SFX, we see Doge and Severian as well. So you asked if they're going to flex, and nope, not to begin with. It doesn't look like. It looks like we're going to have the Goats v Goats mirror matchup with yep, Goats v Goats mirror matchup.
Yep, nothing new, and they're just bombarding the gates right now. So they're not going for the spawn camp strategy. So they're at least staying a bit far away from that one. Could work in their favor, actually, if they can find some good pickups. But right now, it looks like they're giving up the first corner instantly now.
They're going to go back to the second corner and actually just waiting to get this energy rotation, this bubble rotation on standby. Burning down the shields, waiting to get any advantage possible, waiting for this entrance key.
Yeah, and both sides are still staggering. So right now, the D.Va tries to claim high ground, Renee, but gets pushed down by Brandon, and now the fight breaks out on the lower ground as well, and both sides are just pushing each other back and forth. Shade Doge goes down first, hit there, good stun up there. OJ did, it's the second one, and it looks like this is the retreat mode now for them. And the D.Va goes swimming.
And that's what I mean by playing patient. This is what this team is going to want to be doing on the defense. They're trying to get the shield advantage. They're forcing the offense to make these moves. And when that move happened, you saw Cloud in a position to knock Doge into the middle of his team. Bash came through, Discord came through, and the burst damage was there. Ultimates are looking good as well. They have the rally on OJ, and they're coming up on Shade Shatter as well. So maybe a Bash Shatter in the horizon, but they're not bad defensively either with those defensive ults.
Yeah, and now they're rotating up there, looking to claim the high ground and perhaps get a bit of a flank in that way or shape or form, but it looks like it's already known what's going to happen. Random kind of escapes out of that one. Cloud is looking for a way, doesn't get really the boop off I think they want. Doge gets stunned up once again. Oh, good Earth Shatter! Just Doge gets to stand up for that one. Graviton comes out. There is a Transcendence to counteract that Graviton, and right now Spacer is unfortunately in a bad situation, gets knocked down instantly, and SFX gets to die as well.
That's a Graviton Space is going to want back. All they had to invest on top of that was the Transcendence. They did get 3 ultimates out for only the Graviton there, but they haven't been building them as fast as they would have liked. So the ult economy is only really even despite using more ultimates on the side of Indignation. But Doge just has the Shatter available, and they have a lot of defensive ultimates to back him up as well. So they may be able to make a play here if Cloud doesn't put a stop to this by knocking them off this high ground after the rotation.
Oh, but SFX is instantly out of that one, and that I think puts a halt into any plan they had right now. They need to kind of retreat. They're trying to hold upstairs right now. They are lucky that the enemy team isn't really trying to pressure them in that case, because they are missing a member right now.
They could catch SFX though. They could catch him. He's coming back. He's actually going to make it back to the team, but they have wasted a lot more time. Already 3 minutes down off the clock here. The rally's going to be a good engagement.
Oh, that grab is evil there, right there, just holding him in position. Force out the Transcendence, force out the rally. Both Rhinos stunned each other. There is a D.Va bump going out. Oh, Renee goes down for that one, and that one takes Finesse out. Timurov gets a pick off there, SFX as well, and they kind of turned the situation into a good fight for them.
Yeah, Doge had a massive share in the backline, and even though the bomb only killed one, that Shadow allowed a lot of follow-up to come through. Indignation are going to have another fight, but the ultimate situation does favor them somewhat. We do see Spacer coming near that grab, and Finiesta is also close to that Transcendence. It's going to be a race to who can get to that first, which is going to decide who's going to win this final fight on point A.
Yeah, so we can keep a good eye out of that one. There was a good shield rotation there with the Zarya and the Reinhardt there, and we just see them moving in. The rallies being popped already, so they're going in the Graviton on the corner. This could be their opening right now. The Transcendence comes out as well, and they just find another pick after pick. Now 2 only survive. Finesse goes down as well. Now only Brandon is in the way to stop them from claiming this point, but the mech is gone, and Brandon flees into the water.
Oh, that was unfortunate that Finiesta had the Shadow, the Transcendence there. Just as I mentioned, it was a race of who could get it first out of Spacer or Finiesta. But he was just around the corner. His Transcendence couldn't get line of sight with his main tank, and Shade got bursted down immediately. He is going to have the Shadow, though, and they are going to start to build up these ultimates. But look in the top right of your screen. You see a lot of red check marks.
And there goes the first one with the rally going out instantly, and we see both sides just moving forward. And oh, they're just running him over right now, and that's not what you want to have happen there.
And that's what happens when you commit into a rally. The enemy team has so much sustain, so much armor on top of them. It's so hard to kill them through that. And if you have hard committed, you can't back off. You can't kite the damage. You can't kite the pressure. And that's what happened. They had nothing to withstand that pressure, and still not really any ultimates to stand for, especially considering the 4 on the side of Oblivione here.
Yeah, and they're moving forward towards the 5th one as well, but right now both teams are just waiting there. I like how Oblivion are really patient, looking for a little misstep they can abuse right now in every fight, and you see both sides just staggering out back and forth. Right now Brandon is moving a bit forward, gets pushed out by the Zarya damage with the high energy, and another good Graviton that is in the corner. The Diva Bomb goes out as well, gets no victims this time, but they did swim it up quite a bit. Good Earth Shatter, good counter shatter there to get a chance right off of that one. Those charges unfortunately goes into the wall. Diva Bump goes out, does get 0 victims. Another Graviton on the point could be the cost, but Spacer gets shade with that one, so the bit of damage is gone. Forces out Finesta's Transcendence as well, so this could get really iffy now for the next fight for them as well now, and we just see them how they're just backing forth, but Dosh gets another pick off, and most of the fights are in favor of Oblivion, at least with the picks right now.
There was a few occasions where that Transcendence would have came in handy in that fight, but the time that it was used was arguably the worst. That's very unfortunate, but now the ult economy is looking dire for the side of Indignation. They only have the they don't really have anything online, and they're fighting into the rally, the Shadow, and coming up on that Graviton for Spacer yet again. He's been so fast at building those, so they're really going to have to try and get a few economy pushes and maybe even have some clutch plays from Brandon to eat this grab if they really want a chance of, halting this before it ends.
And there goes the rally already. They're moving in. They're trying to find something. There is a grab going out. They got him together. This is not where you want to be. And Brandon gets the mech trying to run back right now. And that is almost a clean sweep there. Only Lino gets out of there kind of alive. Or at least comes back before the team kill gong goes off.
Crucially, though, we see Phineas nearly gets burnt, but he does have a Transcendence here, so he can keep his team alive on the point to get this Graviton alive and follow up on it.
Oh, SFX! SFX with the brilliant boop. They forces out the Transcendence instantly, so they have to use it instantly. The good Earth Shatter to counter even through the tank, and this could be actually the breathing point they need right now into Indignation, and they got it.
Wow, and also look at the ult economy. Suddenly, it goes from having almost no ultimates on the board to having almost every single ultimate. Only the 2 that was used in that fight are missing. OJ has the rally, Cloud having a sound barrier as well, and they have the Graviton Surge and Decombo combo as well. So this is going to have to be a very good push. They have to keep Spacer alive to get the Graviton, and they have 2 support ultimates to do it. So this fight really is coming down to the wire here on Rialto.
And that's how we love it here. Just having both teams go down to the wire, just going forward, just trying to bash each other out. ODJ puts out the rally, runs in. The sound barriers are both popped on each side, so this is now 1 ult down on each side again, and both sides are just trying to back and forth. We have 25 seconds left, so Indignation So right now, Oblivion has to move forward. Indignation loves the position right now because they can just stay there, but slowly getting pushed towards the payload once again, and the fight is slowly breaking out.
Got
The
it.
Graviton goes out. The Transcendence is the answer. Diva Bomb is in the back. It doesn't. I'm not sure if it really gets anything. It gets 2 with that one. That is the answer. The Transcendence can't save you from the Diva Bomb. Now the Transcendence being popped. They're trying to do what they can. Renee gets a pick on Shade. They could have an opening now to get. Actually, they're moving the payload forward despite losing so many members there. And the fight is still going on, and Cloud is just moving forward. Linu gets Angel there. This could be actually an opening for them to just keep it out. Earthshatter goes through, gets 2 with that one. Linu survives that one. Answer Earthshatter, unfortunately, goes into the shield, so they can't really use it. Finesse gets FX. And right now, the fight is just brawling forward. Diva Bomb gets thrown in. Can it get some damage in? Shade with that one. So 2 members are down right now on Indignation, and they're trying their best. Brandon is holding on as good as he can. The payload's almost there. So even if they hold on, the Sunbear gets popped. Gravitons on both sides.
There's another trance.
There's another trance. Oh my god, what? They're just getting everything off they can. They're throwing everything. Only the kitchen sink is missing right now. And they're just going on with this brawl. Both sides are just trying their best to win this fight out. Just pressuring forward. Gets Shade with that one. He gets a D-Meg and the Brigitte, and the Diva Bomb goes out. There's nobody to save that. Gets 1. The payload's moving forward. Finesta moves on to the point. The Wrecking Ball is there as well. Lino on the Wrecking Ball is trying to stagger as good as he can. Gets charged off. Cloud is there, and the point is touched with the payload.
Wow, I really thought that Indignation had that once Finesta beat out Spacer to the grab. He was about 70% to 90%, yet somehow had it online before the Graviton came out, but they still got value out of it, and they slowly edged it out. And yet, there was about 3 different Ultimate Economy resets throughout that fight, 3 different team member resets as well, but somehow the fight kept on going, and in the end, it was Oblivione who were able to just edge it out. But my god, if that's an indication for just how close the series is going to be, I am ready for this to go the distance.
Yeah, it was just great. They just, both teams pulled out their complete A game and took advantage of everything they had. You saw they were seeing, oh, we have the ult up, can we find a point where we can use it? And I loved most of the grabs that Oblivion had with Spacer, where they were just caught on corners where sometimes the trance really couldn't work in their favor.
One thing to keep an eye on, though, throughout this matchup is actually the Indignation are not playing with their full roster. They actually have a substitute and a trial member within their ranks. Of course, their usual hit scan, Eden, actually missing today, so Lino stepping up, and it's, as much as it is a sub, it's not exactly a bad sub to have, an ex-trials player. But regardless, they are going to lack that synergy that maybe they would have had Eden not been here, so that may have been what caused them to not quite have that clutch factor in the previous round, but only time will tell if that's really going to be an issue, or if they're going to start to build the synergy up quickly. Again, a mirror matchup here, goats v goats. No spawn camp from either side, which is interesting. So we're looking at Indignation trying to finish out this matchup, trying to finish Rialto with a better time bank, with any time in the bank, but it's going to be a tough ask.
Yeah. Oh, first pick off there. There is just the Reddit Lucio coming out once again and finding the Reinhardt some swimming lessons there.
And it is a bit hard to swim when you have a giant suit of armor on your back with a rocket strapped to your back, but they're going to quickly reset and actually going to get a pick. That's huge for this engage.
This is great, and you just see how they're taking advantage of that. They're instantly pushing forward. They get another pick as well. So right now, Indignation is doing it correctly right now. They found the opening. They're taking advantage of that. And you just see them opening up the whole plaza right now just for them to take advantage of it.
As well, Shade died first, but he still has more ult charge than Doge, so clearly getting a lot of big fire strikes in there. And although Oblivione are coming back now, and Shade is still holding this corner, so he's going to have to back off to his team, but they're going to have to see. That's both doubles, that's their go button.
Yeah, and both sides are going in there. Doge is a bit caught out, and Finesta ends off Doge for that one, unfortunately. And right now, you can see how it's just pushing them back further and further. The rally is being popped right now on the side of Oblivione, but they can't really take advantage of that. They're trying to hide, and oh, there comes the Graviton. They force out the Transcendence, but Shade kills Silveron before the Transcendence really kicks in, and they get their deep mech from Renee as well. So this is not where you want to be right now, and you had the Transcendence gone there.
And if you think of Indignation's defense, they had a much stronger defense on point A, and they even have a stagger kill onto Severian here. But what we saw throughout that fight is a big tip I would actually give to a lot of Zarya players out there, in that you want to be mainly using your bubbles second, because you have an advantage by cleaning Discord, cleaning any effect, and also healing for free. And what we saw, both bubbles came out early, no protection for your Reinhardt, and Doge just got booped in and burned down. And that's exactly why Indignation won that fight. They have this choke point as well, for that they're going to have to push through, but only time will tell what they use here.
And we see another fight breaking out on top of that lobby there, and just it looks like they have to just back out. And their Shatter gets one. They forces out a Transcendence as well. The Graviton is thrown out as well, and SFX goes down. So that is not what you want to have happening right now. Diva Bomb goes out as well. Can it do any damage? No, it doesn't. And right now, just more members are gone on the side of Oblivione.
That's unfortunate as well, because the second the both tank ults came out, which in itself is not something you want to see happening, SFX immediately drops to I believe it was a whip shot from OJ there. But regardless, look at the ultimate economy. They have their combo, but they're fighting into 2 defensive ultimates. So look at how they use the defensives compared to how they decide to use the offensives. They're actually just going to give up this point, and look at that time bank for point C here. Yeah. 5 minutes to finish out this map, and that's a very good position for Indignation to be in.
Yeah, and that is going to be probably a really hard position for them right now. And right now we see Oblivione a bit with the backs against the walls, and they're trying their best right now, but they just aren't finding the openings that they can do right now. And both sides are just, and Renee almost got caught out. They barely got out of that one, and I just don't see them finding an advantage. Finesta gets a pick on Doge. There goes the Earth Shatter. There's a Diva Bomb in there as well. And nobody goes down, but it does cost a mech there, and it's just the cleanup crew going through.
And now 4 minutes to get through this final little bit of choke point. They do have some ultimates to try and withstand the pressure, but 3 on both sides. Actually, sorry, 4 on the side of Oblivione here, but they do have the better ultimates here in the defensive compared to the Rally versus the Beat. So watch that matchup, see how Indignation deal with this pressure.
Graviton, Transcendence are already out, so 2 have got again. There's another Graviton. There's the other Graviton going out. Unfortunately, it's not really winning out there. There's the Transcendence coming late, and the Rally is already popped as well. And we see all the ults are gone from Oblivione, and oh my god, 348!
Yeah, that's almost a 4-minute time bank. And just look at the difference in Indignation versus in Oblivione. Oblivione seem to be kind of splitting their focus a fair bit. 4 minutes 48, once you take into consideration the extra minute that Oblivione will get. But Doge just seems to have so much more pressure on him when they're fighting, with Cloud just being in a position to boop him in, and also just forcing those bubbles so early. So fantastic play and fantastic team play coming out from the side of Indignation. But if you are the side of Oblivione, not all is lost. You have this minute. You have another chance to push this payload. And this is where you start to consider what you were saying at the beginning of the match, Alenvil, where are they going to maybe just stick with this GOATS comp, or are they going to try and throw Indignation off and try and pull out something unique? It does look like the GOATS comp for now, which may come back to bite them, considering they've been a lot of the time losing that matchup in the series so far.
Well, they've been losing it a lot. They did have... The problem is, it's like Foo's goal right now, what they have with the GOATS comp. They know they can make it work. They had it work during their own attack most of the time. But, at the same time, their defense didn't work out. So they're sitting there like, 50-50, it could work, it could not work. And I feel like that could come really to bite them with that as a mental thought process right now.
For sure, and also on top of that, you've got to think, this is what they've practiced. They may not have any other compositions that they've really given a chance to yet. Like I say, a lot of these rosters are brand new, but the mirror matchup coming out from the doors already, they're going to give up this first corner yet again as Indignation. It worked so well last time. OJ nearly getting killed out, but they're going to give this corner, and they're going to try and just make this work like they did last time.
Yeah, and we see both sides holding on, and honestly, it's amazing. Lino already had a high energy charge on the Zarya already there, and that shows a lot about how you play Zarya if you have it that early with not that much going on. And Doge goes in once again, barely.
Early bubble again.
Oh. Yeah. Oh, and Finesta gets Doge once again, and this is a problem right now for them. They have to back up, but they can't really back up because they only have 50 seconds left. Shade goes down for that one. They could perhaps find an answer, but they only have 10 seconds left. They need to get on the point now, otherwise it's moot anyway what's going on anymore. They barely made the point there. The payload's moving forward. Both teams are waiting for their Rhino to come back, and the payload's moving forward. Doge has the spawn advantage in his case right now, and we just see that barely Shade is there, and this could be the final fight that could really decide if there's going to be more of that, or if it could be really hard for Oblivion and they have to spawn camp. And we see the fight breaking out once again slowly towards the point. We see both sides just hammering in on each other. A lot of damage is being thrown around. The Graviton comes up from space. It's countered by the Transcendence there. This could be an answer. The rally gets popped as well now. So both sides... Oh, Earthshatter goes through, gets through with that one. He has a chance. The answer is Shatter did get the Diva as well, but Spacer's doing work right now. Gets 2 picks off there. The Diva gets demeched, and right now the Lucio is the only one holding onto the point. Gets taken down as well, and they claim the first point.
Remember, this is completely useless in terms of this actual map finishing, though. You need to just get the payload simply as far as you can. You don't get time for these checkpoints. So that just means all Oblivion now have to do is just keep their Diva on the payload. There's no way they actually get him off. But be careful of Lino here. He does have the grav, and they have nothing to negate it because their Diva, like I say, is actually sat back at the payload.
Yeah, and that could be an issue. Perhaps they should just take by. Okay, the Graviton is helpful for them. They will probably lose a member, but they did find an advantage with that half the team just dropped down before the Graviton really took effect against them. So they did have that advantage. They dodged a bullet with that one. The Diva Bomb is coming in. They need to turn around now, but unfortunately the Earthshatter answers that one, and 2 are down with that one. Let's see if the last 4 members can kind of hold on for their team, and they get knocked off the point, and that's the stop of that push.
That was insane from Brandon there. Lino actually dropped behind the enemy team and was getting chased down by Renee. But that Diva Bomb came through and just took out the mech, so he wasn't actually punished because of it. Forced out the self-destruct and also got 2 kills to go with it. Fantastic Diva Bomb from Brandon there, just to really clean up that fight when it was really in the balance. So yeah, what we mentioned about those clutch plays maybe not being as significant with their main hit scan missing, definitely not seeming to be the case right now. They are really rolling with it right now. Good defense, 4 minutes and 48 seconds to make it just past the second corner of point B.
Yeah, it seems not impossible. It seems actually quite likely. But we have to see if Oblivion have at least learned something out of their first defense here on the first bit of the point already, and that is probably what will decide it right now. I feel like.
I mean, if you've been watching the play so far, you heard me mention it on that first fight. They've been using their bubbles for energy, and they've been using them so early that the side of Indignation can just back off, wait for the bubble to die out, and then their Ryan has a free swing or 2, and Shade is really going to work with that. He's rarely dying because of that late bubble advantage. Like I say, these bubbles are so important. I'd recommend you almost treat it as a game of chicken in which team can use the bubble the latest without losing their main tank. And right now, that game of chicken is being lost quite heavily by Oblivion, so they're going to have to change that up, and they're going to have to really not worry about energy and worry about utility a lot more here.
Yeah, and both sides. So the first corner is given up once again from either side, and right now Shade took a bit of damage to get a bit more charge, and their Spacer tries to get more charge, and they do move up to the high ground. The Lucio was in a dangerous position, gets shaved by that shield there, and he's still in kind of an interesting situation. They go down right now. Cimarron gets the first pick off there, so they do have an advantage. Cimarron is about quite far in there right now, trying to put some pressure on. SFX is hovering around, but they're finding something. They get Brandon out of the mech, so that it could actually be... Yes, they get Brandon actually down as well in Cloud. So they stop the first push and buy themselves perhaps 20 to 30 seconds.
Indignation stuck around for way too long there. That fight was lost the second OJ goes down. You have no ultimates to pull it back. You have no Brigitte for that burst healing. And yet, they stuck around. They tried to win it out. They tried to maybe just hold their ground, and that's not going to work when you're 5v6 without your main tool of cancelling momentum. So everyone, as a result of that, has his rally online compared to 54% on OJ, and they're going to have the dueling Transcendences as well. But Spacer are a lot closer to the grav, and in general, ultimates are looking much more favorable towards Oblivion.
Yeah, and right now we're seeing the payload slowly moves past the corner. Both sides are just going back and forth. We do see the rally being popped for Cimarron, and we just see them going in, and Indignation just backs off. They just don't want to have anything to do with this right now. This could be a trap that right now they're running into an Oblivion stuff, but finally they back off as well.
This is perfect though. That's a free ultimate for the side of Indignation. All they did was just press their D key, press their S keys, speed boost, and that's it. They got an ultimate out. That's as easy as that. And now they actually have almost 6 ultimates on the board, and they can just use the rally to get maybe some more out, and then use their own to counteract that. So very good play from Indignation, good awareness as well. Let's just see how they go, and that's a good start as well with the rally here from Lino.
And the Gravitons are going out, the Diva Bomb goes out, nobody gets harmed by that one, and now the Transcendents go out as well. Unfortunately, Shade's Earth Shadow goes into his shield, but Shade gets done up there, he gets shielded as well. Sound Barrier goes out, Diva Bomb goes out, nobody, Cloud gets the first pick on Silver, and Shade gets dodged. This could be actually the opening they need, and as you see, the payload moved a bit during the fight, so this could actually cost them quite a bit.
Again, though, that was a 6 ultimate versus 5 ultimate fight. But look at what the key ultimate use was. It was OJ's rally. Severian didn't have his because he used it in the previous fight and got nothing out of it. And that's why they win that. They're able to just mirror ultimates until they have to use the rally. And now they're in a position where they have to hold on this second point, not even to second corner, for 2 minutes. And they're already at a disadvantage on the ultimates as well, with Shade and Lino both nearing those massive crowd control ultimates.
Yeah, and that could be a really costly factor, and we see both teams moving in. And right now, that was a great shot. It got 4 man, and the poor Reinhardt is alone on the other side, gets taken out, and this will be now rough for Oblivion how to hold that. Silverman pulls out the rally and goes in trying to do work, but unfortunately that doesn't work out. And now it's going to cut it really close if they reach the point.
And that's 2 ultimates. That's only 2 ultimates used. They still have 4, and they're going to be right on top of the point if Oblivion could even touch at all. If they are fighting, they're going to be fighting at a man disadvantage. Look how close the payload is, and they have 4 ultimates to just edge out this fight here.
Yeah, and we're seeing the fight breaking out. The rally goes out, the Graviton is out. There's the Transcendence now to answer it right now. Graviton on the other side as well. Both Transcendence now gone. Earth Shatter goes out. That is a good one, actually. Diva Bomb goes out. Nobody goes down to that one. Lino gets SFX for that one. And right now, another Diva Bomb goes out. Will there be harm? Nobody's harmed yet. That fight as well. So the fight is just really breaking down. Renee gets Shade, so could be actually a chance. Lino gets Renee's mech as well. Right now, they're trading. Doge goes down. This could actually be the opening. Renee is still de-mech'd on the point. Gets the mech back in there, so trying to do some damage, but Renee is like the last episode. Hold on. Another grab, and that is the finisher. That was an execution with that grab.
And that's what happens in those fights. You're able to build those ultimates so fast in Ghostcom. But again, we just see the ultimate economy being superior for the side of Indignation. That's why they were able to have that sound barrier. Doge does get the Constellation play of the game, but if I'm going to pick a favorite for this match so far, it is going to be, in terms of the main tank duel, Shade, in my opinion, is winning this out consistently just because of the superior bubble usage. But regardless, both teams have put on a fantastic showing, taking us to, I believe it was 5-4, the final score of Rialto there. Which in general is going to show us, how close these teams are. One round cannot contain them. We're going to have to likely go the distance if this match is going to go as that first map did.
Yeah, and that's actually really nicely done right now. We are going to set up for the next matchup exactly, and I feel like this could be really nicely done right now. And we will be going on to the next map, which will be King's Row, actually. So we could see more goats. So that is actually a big option.
Yeah, King's Row, a lot of the same as Rialto, really. We've seen a lot of goats in Rialto just there. We're probably going to see a lot of goats again, which, like we've been saying, is likely going to favor Indignation because of the fact that, both teams seem to have a good hand in goats, but Indignation has been winning out that duel. And they've just been, in general, having better tank coordination and getting more value out of those ultimates, and in general, having a better ult economy. So, all those things combined to make this Indignation's match to lose. But who knows? Oblivion may have some key coaching staff backstage. They may have some very very niche strategies up their sleeve, but only time will tell. And right now, that's what we've got to work with. We've got to work with the fact that Indignation are 1-up after a goats map, and we're heading onto a goats map. So, do with that as you will.
I think that I love how the teams just love teasing us with like a soldier or a widow just looking around, and you just know that they'll switch off. It's just so obvious right now.
I mean, we've had situations in the past, especially me and you, Alenvil, where we've said they're going to switch off, well, they're not going to play this, and then they've came out on 5 DPS. So
Yeah,
who knows at this time?
And we enjoyed the hell out of that, to be honest. But,
It was a good cast, I'll say that.
Oh, but it's just great. I feel like, as you said, that it's superior bubble usage, and that's the thing for a main tank. You're not alone with what you're doing. You have to have supporting cast there to help you actually do your job really correctly.
As a good friend of mine once said, Goats is just a massive Reinhardt pocket.
Yeah, that sounds actually really good. I love it. And right now we see Doge getting bit in the corner once again, so that pocket has to come in handy right now. And right now it looks like Oblivione are just backing off to make sure that they're not getting caught out again once again.
And again, we do see though they use the bubbles early when they're in position. They have to kite it back. That's why they backed off there, along with a bit of assistance from Brandon. But look at the ultimates because of this. Jade is already 76% to his Earthshatter compared to 34 from Doge.
Yeah, he gets to swing his hammer a lot more, and you just see how he does that with that shield. And they took down Shade. That was a bit surprising, but Doge goes down as well, so no Reinhardt there. Silver says, okay, I don't need a Reinhardt. I'm the squire of Reinhardt, so I can take him down. And just see Cloud getting knocked out as well. And okay, the grab is a bit questionable in my eyes, but hey, they got the point. Brandon is still on the point causing stress, but looks like they claimed the point.
Okay, so the idea behind that grab, I think, was to make sure Lino didn't get out with his charge. But I don't think that's worth an entire graviton, truthfully, and especially considering now Finiesta has a free Transcendence, and Lino also has his own grab as well. So, not the smartest move there from Spacer, but we'll have to see if it's going to pay off. And of course, the side of Indignation still have their ultimates compared to the two that was used on the side of Oblivione. So, ult economy yet again.
Yeah, definitely. The ult economy is an interesting point, but we've seen Spacer build up these gravitons quite nicely, so this could actually be an interesting change. Doge just moving in once again. Let's see if the pocket can hold on, but unfortunately there's a rally, and nope, Doge goes down once again, and you just see how they're backing off instantly. Unfortunately, Angel has to sacrifice himself for the greater good of the team.
One ultimate, one fight, one. That's literally how we can describe Indignation right now. All they used was the rally there. OJ got behind the Reinhardt, got a nice bash off, and his team was able to focus him down. That's all they needed to do, and they still have ultimate advantage.
They're standing evil.
And now they're spawn camping. Oh, no, OJ. Now they're trying to spawn camp here. Oh, no.
Okay. The grab is already up. Eva bomb could be interesting, actually. Okay, that didn't really work out. Oh no! They shared Eva bomb! Oh, that's not where you want to be! And oh.
A bit more than one ultimate, I will say that, but they have won out the fight, and they still, in a sense, have things to answer what Oblivione are going to throw at them. They have the Transcendence for the grab. They have, Cloud is still going to be there to speed his team back if they sound barrier or rally. So they really have a good position to be in, despite being at an ultimate disadvantage. A few ego pushes, and that's going to swing that right back around, and Indignation have been good at those ego pushes.
Yeah, and both sides are just staggering once again, and it looks like Doge is a bit more careful right now, and that seems like they kind of got into his head a bit. They could graviton.
Oh, no.
And yes, they caught him off beautifully on that corner that the Transcendence couldn't work out there. So that is a nice pick there. The rally is a non-factor anymore, and they get Shade with that one. They get the Brandon as well, and this looks like this eco push kind of backfired for them.
It wasn't even an eco push because they ulted in return. But what a lot of people don't seem to know, especially in like the lower levels of Overwatch, is that actually Transcendence is line of sight. So what we see there is the corner actually breaks line of sight between OJ and Finiesta. That is why OJ was able to burst it down so easily there. They are going to have a chance to touch this, but they're fighting into a lot of check marks on the side of Oblivione here.
Yeah, and looks like there's supposed to be okay. Well, okay. This was awkward. So yeah, you said lots of check marks, and we will probably head into the fight with the check marks right now. We just see them going on. Nobody's really taking damage yet, but they're doing a lot on either side right now. A few cooldowns have been used for abilities, and that Earthshatter was brilliant there. And they instantly take out Shay. With that one, Finesta falls as well. Brandon has a great position. Let's be honest. Brandon stood perfectly there for a long time.
The only downside is actually the recent changes to D.Va, namely the defense matrix length, but also the visuals of the defense matrix being a lot more clear. This now means that Brandon actually can't get a lot of value from that high ground. It's much hard. You have to drop to the high ground, from the high ground, should I say, to be able to eat projectiles from below. And as a result, Brandon really didn't get much value from that position that used to be one of the top spots in the game for D.Va.
Yeah, D.Va Bomb comes in, Graviton is out as well, both sides Earth Shatter as well. Oh my god, there's only one victim out of this chaos, and there is the other. Oh, great Earth Shatter to counter that Graviton. And there goes the South Barrier as well, and this brawl is still going out, but unfortunately for the side of Oblivion, they lose a member. They do answer with one back, but lots of people are dropping low. D.Va gets the mech there, and Renee gets to fall for the suffering there.
I think the important thing to remember as well is who is dropping. Like, we see Renee is demaced in exchange for OJ, which may be a fair trade, but you also consider you have lost a few other members as well. That then turns that into less of an even trade, and you see them disengaging. But not to be too alarmed, Finiesta's ultimate along with Shade are the only two really worth mentioning at the minute. So keep an eye on those two guys in the next fight, because that's going to get explosive.
Oh, Silverone gets a pick on Cloud and is building up on Old Charge as well. There goes the D.Va Bomb right now. Let's see that go. Oh, Earth Shatter! Oh, 2 go down for that one. And that is actually what you don't like to see. And as you just were warning that there was something coming up, it just came out and just knocked them onto their feet.
Well, I did seem to forget Braden and his continuous value out of self-destructs. Shade hitting a massive shatter, but combined with that 2-man bomb. And look at the ultimates. Suddenly, we see 3v3 and a lot of defensives online. And Graviton's going to come, but they are going to have the Transcendence.
Transcendence gets popped right now. The Transcendence, there's the answer Graviton. There is the answer Transcendence as well. So both sides have that. They charge out the Zenyatta, so there was the Shiveron falling down for that one. Finessa gets a kill as well. And right now, Oblivione have to back out once again.
And what we see yet again is what I was saying, where it's... who is trading? One team loses their Brigitte and their burst healing and a lot of their main sustain, and his team just loses their mobility, which just means they can start to hold strong in their current position with their remaining composition, including that of the mobility halter, if you will, in Brigitte. But now, suddenly, Indignation at an ultimate disadvantage quite heavily. 3 ultimates coming online on the side of Oblivione, and that rally, which will probably be a game changer here if they use it right, and here it goes to begin with.
Rally goes in, there is as well that, they did get one hit with that one. I didn't think that would happen. Shade goes in for a charge, unfortunately he has to suffer instantly for that one, and Finessa just says, okay, I'm out of here guys, jumps off the cliff instantly, and looks like they get another corner at least. Brandon stalled quite a bit actually in the back.
Yeah, they are going to get another fight, and they do have some ultimates to engage with, most namely Finiesta's Transcendence, which is going to allow them to basically be invulnerable on the point, regardless of some very good target force. But let's see how they choose to attack this, because there's a lot of different ways they could play this with what they have available.
D.Va Bomb going in, Graviton as well. Shield is up, nobody goes down, the Transcendence out, another Graviton comes out, another Transcendence is coming in. Both Transcendence are out right now. Both sides, Earth Shatter goes in, nicely answered with the sound barrier there, but they do get Shade for that one, so that is something. Doge goes down as well, so both Reinhardts are gone right now, so the fight could get interesting. The rally is popped as well right now on the side of Indignation, and they get another pick on the Brigitte, and the Rosaria looks like this could be their winning point. They did get pushed quite far actually, but they do get another hold before it is.
So they do have the win condition, and they confirm that this next round is going to be the last round of King's Row that we play. Of course, no chance for a draw now either. So it's all down to how Indignation want to run this. Do they want to stick to their Goats comp that they've been so strong on so far? Or do they want to maybe switch it up on offense here? Do they maybe want to pull out the Sombra? Do they maybe want to flex Lino onto some of his more favored DPS picks? Do they want to maybe see how OJ can fare with his pretty famed Pharah? And do they want to just exploit the seeming lack of flexibility on the side of Oblivione?
Yeah, that's the thing. Ex Oblivion have well, we did see in the semis that they did try one matchup where they did switch up a bit, but it didn't really work out in their favor, to be honest, at that point. They got a push out of that one, but they flexed a bit and looks like they're going to flex quite a bit right now if they're going with the double sniper comp right now.
If it was maybe Lino and OJ playing the Widowmaker and Hanzo, I would possibly believe it. But Finiesta being, of course, the flex support here, likely just taking a pot shot along with OJ, seeing if they can get an early pick, seeing if they can maybe get an advantage before the fight really kicks off. But only time will tell. Maybe they would have stick with OJ or this Hanzo, would have maybe run more of a DPS comp. But the rest of the team layout, with OJ going back to the Brigitte as well, does seem like they're going to be sticking with the standard Goats comp, and Finiesta will likely swap over to that Zenyatta. Yep, there we go. So, another mirror matchup of Zenyatta Goats versus Zenyatta Goats. Reinhardt versus Reinhardt. Sorry versus Zarya. Game of chicken between the bubbles. Let's see who can get this. And actually, right now, they're going to take the same rotation that Ex Oblivion did on their attack. So they're going to look to take around the statue and try and open up a sightline for their backline.
Yeah, and as you say that, Doja's getting quite pressured quite a bit right now. He survives it barely, and they get the first pick off there actually. And whoa, they actually answered quite nicely there. I'm surprised that it looked kind of iffy for Doge most of the time as he was cut off in that corner. Luckily, the health pack was there as well, so he had a bit more survival chances there.
So actually what happened was SFX actually booped Shade into his team, which meant that the armor pack and bubble were both forced out. Which meant that although they were actually the healthier side, they didn't have much to really sustain what was happening.
And the fight is breaking out once again, and you just see both sides are just finding an opening. And Renee loses the mech, so this is not a good situation. The rally's been popped on both sides, and now you just have the baby diva who's trying to do their best as the damage dealer. Oh, that is a good shatter. That was a good help. Shatter. Oh, that looked a bit off there. The Graviton goes in there as well. And both Gravitons and Transcendence are going out. Diva Bomb, Brandon gets Sivir on with that one. Spacer falls as well. And looks like this is the opening for Indignation.
At that time, it was the exact opposite. We saw that this time it was Cloud making the play with Renee behind, actually booping him away, which with the new changes that came recently where Diva's a lot more mobile in terms of crowd control. When she's still flying, she got knocked back. Her boosters didn't make it back to the team, and they were able to demech her. Quite sloppy awareness from Renee to let that happen, but overall a good play coming out from Indignation to be able to follow up on that, because not all mistakes are punishable, but they made sure that one was.
Yeah, that was really a good punish there, and Renee does have the Diva Bomb for the next fight, but there is a sound barrier that could help them in some way. They throw in the Diva Bomb, goes quite through actually. It gets Finesta with that one, so that's actually good. They forced out a sound barrier as well. So if they can actually just keep on this point holding, they actually get an advantage out of this.
And again, if they are able to punish... Oh, a nice shot to prevent the punish, though.
Oh, there's another answer shatter. There's a Graviton being popped right now. Right now, it looks like Indignation want to take advantage of this situation. I'm not sure if that's the best option they have.
Indignation are going to go back into their spawn, and they're going to hopefully keep Lino alive. Oh, he drops so low. But they keep his charge, and now they're able to quickly bounce back with their rally they have online.
Yeah, the rally is popped on the other side as well, and they push him back into the spawn room. I don't think... Oh, Brandon with the nice pick off on the side.
The assassin, he was behind them the whole time and took out the Zenyatta, and this is a great position for Indignation now.
Well, the most sneakiest things are the biggest things you can actually see most of the time. You just don't realize that there's a giant mech in the back. Good Graviton, good Diva Bomb, gets Doge with that one. The Transcendence is forced out as well. But they're using their ults and at least getting something out of it right now. Shade is holding on for his dear life, gets Sivir on as well. And right now, should be the retreat for Ex Oblivion.
What that pick from Brennan actually meant was that they didn't have Discord. The enemy team didn't have Discord, they didn't have Transcendence, they didn't have Harmony Orb. So that's a number of their defensive capabilities. That's a number of their healing, and that's just in general a much lower amount of damage that you can output because of that, I believe, 150% damage that Discord allows to happen.
Yeah, and now they're trying to break into another fight. Good Earth Shatter there that did get Spacer on the corner. So there's the Graviton. There is the Diva Bomb as well. Will there be any victims? Forced even out the Transcendence. Right now, Beria went down. Shade go Doge go both down. Renee gets a pick off there. And right now, the fight is a bit sloppy. So both Reinhardts are gone right now. South Barrier is being forced out on the side from Indignations. So both sides are going with anything, and right now we just see how there's another Graviton going out. Both sides, now the Transcendence, now the Sound Barrier is being popped. Everything goes right now. It's like a full sail right now, and we see OJ going down there. We see Lino going down as well, and Finesta, and this wholesale is won by Oblivione.
But what we see is Doge actually has the slightly closer spawns, so Shade having to go through the twists and turns of Kings Row Streets phase, Doge just has a single charge back to his team, and as a result, he gets back first, so despite the defensive ultimates that both teams invested, Indignation actually ended up losing that fight simply from a disadvantage. But look at the ultimates now, there's nothing on the side of Oblivione compared to the 3 or 4 that can come online in this fight.
Yeah, and right now we see the Graviton, as you said, coming out right now, but the Shatter was there suddenly, and it actually did stall something. Nobody goes down for that one, and right now we see the fight charging in. Unfortunately, he has to fight against that Transcendence there. There is a D-Mech already, the Shade got with his Earth Shatter, and Brandon gets a pick off there on the Zen, and right now it's a 1-5 for Indignation.
Yep, and like I said, the Ultimate Economy, yet again, has been a story throughout this entire map. So even though Indignation haven't won every fight, they've been losing the fights that still give them a lot of ultimate charge, and that's why they're coming out of these fights where they're maybe investing 2 or 3 ultimates, but they're coming out with another 2 or 3 on top of that. It's just really flip-flopping back and forth between each team having the advantage in that field.
Oh, there goes the Graviton. It's answered with the Transcendence as well. OJ gets down for that. Shade takes down Doge, so the answer is kind of interesting right now. We see a rally going out. The Diva Bomb gets actually a pick off there, so this is a 1 fight for Oblivione, and now they need to hold on. They could do it, but they don't have much ulta in that corner.
They don't have many ults, and they don't have much time either. They have 1 minute and 40 to defend for, but only really one corner, one more fight that Indignation has to win. And now suddenly they're ahead on ult charge yet again. It's been the story. They lose that fight, but they come out of it with a few ultimates. And that's really what Indignation have been so good at throughout the series, winning the important fights and losing fights in a strong manner.
Yes, that is actually what's happening. And right now we see Shade getting the bubble, getting some good. The Shatter goes out. Better Shatter there from Shade in that case, but right now the Sound Barrier is being forced out as well, so the fight is going on. Transcendence being forced out. Well, Diva Bomb goes out. Let's see how this one goes right now. Diva Bomb doesn't do much damage. This one, Rally's being popped for Indignation, and they're going for everything. Brandon gets the kill on Doge, so this could be actually the answer. Renee goes in there, gets demeched as well, so this is not really good what they want to have happen. Renee goes down as that was. Cimarron goes down. Spacer goes down. They don't have anybody left in the payloads moving against them right now.
They are going to have to touch this, likely with Renee or SFX jumping onto the point and suiciding, but it's so close to the end that really, they have nothing to work with here.
Doge and SFX made it there. Renee is there as well. They're going in the trans.
Yeah,
then 8, and they just fit a Shatter and they go on to the point. And that is Indignation wins that one.
And here that is going to do it for Kings Row. Shade coming through with a fantastic performance here on this map. Of course, maybe 1 or 2 misplays, but this entire Diva Bomb from Braden as well. Overall, very well played from both sides. And in that final fight, Braden yet again coming out, showing himself as the superior Diva in this matchup. Eating out that Graviton, making that clutch play that is even harder in this current patch.
Yes, and it was brilliantly done, and Indignation wins the grand final with that, as it is only a best of 3 with the 2-0, and like you said, they won the fights that were important, so I would like to say Indignation lost with dignity, so they got ahead with ults.
So I have a question for you, Alenvil.
Yes.
Do you have an MVP?
I would actually give it... Oh, that's a good question, actually, for Indignation. I felt like they played all well together, but who would I give an MVP for that one? I would mainly say Brandon, especially for that assassination that really opened up their push on King's Row as he assassinated the Zenyatta in the backline.
I would definitely have to give it to somebody on that tank line. Braden, of course, having a fantastic game, off angling so well, making the most important thing that a diva will do in a game is to control the pace of the game. And if a diva can be at an off angle and force the enemy team to just keep an eye behind them, then that's exactly what you want. You want them to not have full focus on your front line. And Bryden did a fantastic job of making sure that the enemy team didn't forget about him. So uh, we have highlighted Braden here, but of course both sides had fantastic performances, and especially Indignation, who ended up coming out on top in the series.
Hmm. Yeah, so do you have anything left you want to say before we head off now?
I not really too much aside from thank you to Alenvil for having me as your co-caster, and thank you to Toadette as our producer and Magic Nocti as our game referee.
I can only agree, and then I'll say goodbye and good night.